Okay, so we're looking at a revision video for the first test for 11 apps in 2017, and I'm going to be looking at linear equations, simultaneous equations, linear relationships, and word problems covering all three topics. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, so we're going to have a few pages of some linear equations, so pause the tape, and when you're ready, come back live. Okay, hopefully you're back with me. Okay, so first thing you do is take the 3 across, so it's going to be 5x equals 0 minus 3 equals minus 3. You don't have to show that step. And then x equals minus 3/5 by dividing. Okay, next one you got the option of expanding the brackets, but because 5 goes into 10, I'm going to divide both sides by 5. So 3 minus x equals 2, and then take the x across and take the 2 backwards. So positive x equals 3 minus 2 equals 1. The other way of doing it is to expand the bracket, so you got 15 minus 5x equals 10. Now this time I'll take the 15 across, so minus 5x equals 10 minus 15 equals minus 5, and so x equals minus 5 divided by minus 5 equals plus 1, so the answers are the same. Okay, let's move on to the next page. Okay, so a little bit harder, letters on both sides and fractions, so please have a go, and when you're ready come back live. Okay, so let's move the letters to the left and the numbers to the right. So the next line is 3a plus a equals 4 minus 5. So I've got 4a equals negative 1. And so xa equals negative 1 over 4. Okay, next one, lowest common denominator is 12, but it's just an easy cross multiply which does the same thing. So the next line is 3 bracket 3x plus 1 equals 4 bracket 2x plus 1. So the lowest common multiple is 12, and that's what I'm doing. They're both over 12, and then you just forget about them. Forget the 12s. So 9x plus 3 equals 8x plus 4. X is this way, numbers that way. So I've got 9x minus 8x equals 4 minus 3. So x equals 1. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so a couple of harder questions, equations, and when you're ready, go. And come back when you're ready. Okay, you're back. Okay, lowest common multiple is 6. So I need to double this number. I need to triple that number. And I have to multiply the last one by 6 because it doesn't have anything. Then multiply at the brackets. Plus 6 equals minus 12. Collect like terms, so 5x. Okay, so I've got 5x plus 4 equals minus 12. 4 goes away. 5x equals minus 16. So x equals minus 16 over 5. Okay, next one. Oh, come on. Okay, the lowest common multiple is 10m. Okay, so that's get multiplied by 5. So we've got 5 times 5. This one gets multiplied by 2. So we've got 3 times 2. And this one gets multiplied by 10m. So I've got 20m. So I've got 25 plus 18 equals 20m. 43 equals 20m. So m equals 43 over 20, which is a decimal or a fraction as well. Okay, so now we have some simultaneous equations. So we've got, I think, at least one page of these. Use any method you like, and when you're ready, come back live. Okay, so this one here is set up for elimination, and I like to add, okay, because the y's will kill each other off. So x plus x is 2x, y's are dead, 7 plus 1 is 8, so x equals 4, and then put that into the sub into the first equation. So 4 plus y equals 7, so y equals 7 minus 4 equals 3, so the answer is 4, 3. Now the next one is set up for substitution because you've got x equals, and so that will just go in that position there. You can do it by elimination, but I'm going to do it by substitution. So we've got 3 bracket y minus 1 plus y equals 0, then expand brackets, then collect like terms. Now I'm going to take the 3 across straight away. 4y equals 3, so y equals 3/4. It's bad luck, it's a fraction, but that's what it is. Just make sure I haven't made a mistake. Y minus 1, 3y minus 3, bad luck, it's a fraction answer. And then x equals 3/4 minus 1 from the first equation, which is -1/4, and so your answer is -1/4, comma 3/4. Okay, let's see what's on the next page. Okay, we've got one more simultaneous equation. Okay, we're halfway through, so when you're ready, have a go. Okay, so you'll notice that there's no 3 there, or these numbers are the same. So it doesn't matter which way you do it. I'm going to put 3's in the first equation. So triple, triple, triple. So I've taken that first equation, and I've just tripled all the numbers. Okay, excuse me. So now I'm going to subtract, because these have the same sign. So 3 minus 3 is nothing. 4 minus 6 equals 10. 13 minus 3 equals 10. So 10 over 10 equals 1. And then we just sub into the first equation. So x minus 2 times 1 equals 1. X minus 2 equals 1. X equals 1 plus 2 equals 3. And so the answer is 3, 1. Okay. Okay, so now we've got some word questions, and you can use any technique. Most often it's just one that's easier, but you can choose whatever you like. Okay, we're back. Okay, so we're looking for the number. Find the number. So that says let the number be x, or whatever letter you like. It says 3 less than a number. So 3 less than a number is equal to 2. 3 less than a number is equal to 2. Oh, sorry, equals to 2 more than twice the number. 2 more than twice the number. I have to read all the way through. So 3 less than a number is equal to 2 more than twice the number. Okay, so now just move things around. I'm going to move the x's that way, move the numbers back. So I've got 2x minus x equals minus 3 minus 2. So x equals minus 5. So the number is minus 5. So don't forget, finish with a word statement. You will be penalised. Okay, moving on. Okay, the sum of 3 consecutive, so consecutive is there, and they're not just consecutive numbers, they're consecutive even numbers, equal 46, and we have to find the largest number. Okay, so have a go. When you're ready, come back. Okay, let the 3 numbers be. Okay, so the first number is x, and because they're not just not consecutive numbers, they're consecutive even, I've got to add 2 and then add another 2. So it's not going x plus 1, x plus 2, which would be consecutive numbers, but consecutive evens, you just got to add 2. So those numbers add up to, okay, the word sum means to add. So we've got x plus 2 plus x plus 4 equals 46. So collect like terms, x and x is 3x. 2 and 4 is 6 equals 46. Oh my god, what have I done? So this answer doesn't have an answer. There's no such thing. So 3x equals 40. So I've made a mistake. There is no consecutive numbers that are even at the 46. Okay? So there is no answer. So for instance, if I made that 66, let's make that 66 so we can actually get an answer. So I'll just change those. Okay, so let's make that 66. Change the pen. So 66, 66. So 60, so x equals 20. So the numbers are 20, 22, and 24. And what's the largest number? The largest is 24. So make sure you read the question, what's the largest number. The question didn't say what are the numbers, it said what's the largest. So sorry about that, so I just had to make that change. I'm sure you're cursing me. Okay, the perimeter of a rectangle equals 36. Okay, so have a go. You've done these sort of questions before, and the question is find the area. Okay, see you back. Okay, so let's start off with the rectangle length and width. Okay, so the perimeter equals 36, so 2L plus 2W equals 36, and I can just divide through. So that's my first equation. Okay, the length is 3 less than twice the width. The length is 3 less than twice the width. Okay, so that's the second equation. Just a minute. It says 3 less, so there's my 3 less than twice the width. Now this is set up for substitution, so I'm just going to put that straight into that position there. So I've got 2W minus 3 plus W equals 18. Collect like terms. So 3W equals 21, so W equals 7. And L equals 2 times 7 minus 3 from that equation, which is 14 minus 3 equals 11. So the length is 11, and area equals length times width equals 11 times 7 equals 77 centimeters squared. Okay, let's move on. I think we got... Okay. Okay, so in this question here it says use any method. So you could do a plot if you wanted to. Just do 0, 1, 2. So you get 2, and we're subtracting 1, so 1 and 0. So there's heaps of ways of doing it, but that's just the easiest way. So don't forget you have to label your axes, x and y. And so there's 0, there's 1, there's 2, 1, 2. Okay, so 0, 2 is there, 1, 1, 2, 0, and then just join them up in a straight line, and that's it. Okay, so again, you could have used the y-intercept was 2, the gradient was minus 1, so the x-intercept equals, you take the y-intercept, minus 2, and change the sign, and divide by the gradient, and that gives you 2, which is that number, and that was that number. Otherwise, if you want to do any method, just do a table of values. Okay, in the next one, I'll give you some time again. So we have to use the x and y intercepts. Okay, so just remember the y-intercept is b, and the x-intercept is minus b over m, or you're making a substitution of 0. So the x-intercept, just remember, the y-intercept is when x equals 0, and the x-intercept is when y equals 0. Okay, but have a go. Okay, so let's look at the first one. Y equals 2x minus 6. So the y-intercept is minus 6. The gradient is 2, and the x-intercept equals, take the y-intercept and change the sign, divide by the gradient, so you get 3. So the first one, and now this is a sketch, so it doesn't have to be accurate. So y-intercept is minus 6 is down there, x-intercept is 3, and just join them up. Don't forget the labels. Okay, now the next one. Okay, so this one here, I'll use this technique. So we've got 2x minus y equals 4. So if we're finding the y-intercept, okay, so you cross out the x, so minus y, so therefore minus y equals 4, so just change the signs, and if I'm finding the x-intercept, I cross out the y, so I've got 2x equals 4, so x equals 2, y, x, so there's minus 4, there's 2, and then just join them up. Okay, let's move on. Okay, 2 pages to go. Okay, so person starts walking. They're not at home. They're walking they're starting 20 metres away from home, and they're going away from home at 3 metres per second. So the first part is form a formula to express the distance in terms of time. So pause, and when you're ready, come back live. Okay, so the distance is, he starts at 30 metres, so regardless of the time, he's 30 metres away, and then for every second, he's walking 3 metres. So the distance away from home is 30 plus 3t. Okay, he's going away from home. So he starts at 30, like the y intercept, and then he's going away at 3 metres per second. Okay, use your formula to draw. So I'll just bring that formula forward. Okay, so now you have to draw accurately 30 plus 3t. Okay, so do that, and then in the last part, use this graph to find the distance when time equals 8. Okay, so have a go at that, and when you're ready, come back. Okay, so we have to do this a bit more accurately. I'll just do a little bit dodge, but anyway. So it's not y, it's d, and it's t. Okay, so t. Okay, so 20, 40, 60, 80. Okay, bad units. Should have grid paper. Okay, 1, 2, 3. No, I'm going to change that to 5, 10, 15, 20. Okay, so it starts, you'll have grid paper, so it's not so bad. So it starts at 30 metres, and then, so at 5 seconds, 5 threes are 15, so 20, 30 plus 15 is 45, so it's probably about there. At 10 seconds, 10 threes are 30, plus 30 is 60. Okay, so I've got my straight line. Okay. You don't go backwards because times can't go past 0, so that's that graph. And just put a line arrow there. And then use this graph to find distance when t equals 8. So again, I haven't chosen a good scale, but what you do is, there's about 8 seconds, and you go up till you hit the graph, and then you go across till you hit the axis, and there's whatever that number is there. So using the formula, but not using the graph. Okay, so using the formula, using the graph, you have to do that, but let's just check what the answer is. 30 plus 3 times 8 equals 30 plus 24. So I didn't use a good scale, but that's it. And that's our last page. Okay, so that gives you an example of a range of questions. So good luck and keep asking questions. I'll send you a list of questions from the textbook for good practice. Okay, bye.